Welcome to the Across the Bar podcast, where we talk about why today's headlines are important for your success at work. My name is Peter Raybar. I'm your first call on legal issues.
Laura Brownstein, I should be your first call on comms and content. Peter, you look amused already.
I mean, this is such a great month for me, for the world, for the U.S. in some respects. In some respects, very bad. But sports-wise,
I would say SCOTUS today is basically like hold my ear on that.
Sports-wise,
upsetting, but sports-wise, crushing it.
Sports-wise, we have the U.S. national team playing tonight. And they're doing in the World Cup, and they're doing amazing. They're advancing to the knockout round. So people are very excited. People are out watching soccer like all day long, which is amazing.
Peter, are you still waking up with a smile on your face because of the Knicks? Like, do you still wake up in the morning and say to yourself, "That was real"?
You know, it's funny. Someone went around Williamsburg, where I live, and stenciled all this Knicks stuff all over the sidewalks, like with spray paint. And I came across one this morning, and it did make me smile. And I was like, wow, I'm still really happy about this, to be honest. So yes, I do.
I love that for you.
That's the answer. And it seems like that's the answer for a lot of other people too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I was trying to get organize things in my apartment the other day, and there's so much more Knicks crap in my apartment than there was before. Like T-shirts and towels and...
Yeah, sometimes it just arrives. Where'd it come from? Who knows? So,
all right.
Yeah.
We have a great guest that you're going to introduce, which is so exciting. I love when we have guests. To
talk about the World Cup.
We're going to talk about the World Cup.
And work.
We're going to talk about highs and lows at JPMorgan. We're going to talk about former Commerce Secretary under Biden, Gina Raimondo's new plan to save the American worker and who's involved, which is good because things are heading towards an infinite work week, according to a recent article, which I'm not into. And...
Definitely not.
Meta culpa at Meta said one headline that I thought was great, and we'll talk about that. But first, Peter, tell us about our guest.
Yeah, so our guest today is Ed Foster-Simeon, who is the president and CEO of the U.S. Soccer Foundation, which is a sports-based youth development nonprofit, and one that, full disclosure, I am involved in. And what we do is we build soccer pitches in underserved neighborhoods throughout...
Field, I learned.
Yes, it's a soccer field throughout the country, and we also fund programs in schools and after school, and also leagues, and we also train coaches. And the stats don't lie. Over 1 million kids have gone through the program, and the improvements in their... No cost to the kids. The improvements in their health and their life and their leadership cannot be disputed. So Ed is an incredible leader. He's been CEO for over 18 years. And prior to that, he was a media person like us. He was at the USA Today, where he was deputy managing editor. And so I'm very excited to have Ed join us.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so here we are with Ed Foster-Simeon. Ed, thank you so much for joining us today during the World Cup. I'm sure it's a very busy time for you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Always good to see you.
So classing us up today.
Yeah, we are. We're going upwards. This is what we're doing with the podcast.
We need to step up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, so Ed, we're going to get into a little bit of what you do with the foundation, and as I told our listeners, full disclosure, I've been involved with the foundation for over a decade now, and it's a cause that's near and dear to my heart.
Soccer kid, Peter?
I was, yeah. And I've turned into a soccer adult, much to the chagrin of my wife and my mother.
Play still or just go see it?
I've had to retire from playing. I did play when I was at Hearst. I did play on the intramural team, but I think I caused too many injuries for the opposing team with my reckless style.
Did your kids play?
Yes, they both played. So Ed, before we dive into the foundation and the World Cup's impact on kids, which isn't talked about a lot in the media, why don't you tell us what you think of the tournament so far and how it's turning out?
Oh my goodness, this tournament, I'm so very, very happy. I was on the bid committee when that secured the World Cup for the US, Mexico, and Canada. And that was after the unsuccessful bid previously. And so really exciting to see it come to life. In the advance of every World Cup, there's always this tension around, oh, this problem, that problem, whatever. But true to form, as soon as the first ball gets kicked, the whole tone and tenor changes. And it changes because the fans come out. And the
Oh,
fans are what the World Cup is all about bringing communities from around the world together in one place around one single game. And the joy and the laughter and the happiness that has been so absent for so many people has returned in kind of a concentrated form. And it's really, really exciting for me. And then to see the U.S. national team come out of the gate so strong, right? Which is just fabulous to see because they received criticism about their performances over the years, etc. But wow, they look really strong, and that's good for the game. That's good for the country. It's good overall.
I totally agree. I was at that first U.S. Game against Paraguay, and it was like, I think everybody was just stunned at how strong and confident and at ease they looked. And we're recording today. There's a U.S. game tonight against Turkey, but it's essentially a meaningless game for the U.S. They've already advanced to the next round. So
Yes, which is exciting, right?
yeah,
That isn't always the case.
yeah. I mean, Laura is not a regular sports fan, but even she's excited about
I'm
it.
excited. But I have another not directly World Cup question.
Sure.
So there's been lots of studies that have shown that people who play on sports teams do better, are better leaders, are more successful at work. Can you kind of talk about why you think that is?
Yeah.
Like, why does playing on a sports team make you a better performer in the workplace?
Yeah, one of the funny things that about sport is that we often take it as simply as fun and games or about who won a title or who won a trophy, but it's actually a critical learning platform for young people. To learn perseverance, to learn the value of grit, to learn accountability to others, to learn how to be on a team, when to lead and when to follow. These are all skill sets that when you go to work one day are exactly the skill
Yeah.
sets that you need to know. I talk to a lot of people who hire folks, and when they see athlete on a resume, it gets a different look because they know that that person typically is coming already with certain behaviors and certain learned skill sets that are going to be valuable in the workplace. And so there is a value to it, and that's why we have worked so hard at the U.S. Soccer Foundation to make sure that children in under-resourced communities have access to participate and play and all those learnings that go with it. Secondarily, and in my heart, just as important, if not most important, is the powerful role that a youth coach can play in a young person's life.
Yeah.
Obviously we have our parents and our immediate family, we have teachers, but kids come to coaches because they want to learn from them and they have fun doing it, right? And when you are fortunate to have a coach who understands that their role is about more than just kicking a ball or swinging a bat, their role is about shaping young people, helping them develop life skills, helping them to learn how to overcome difficulties, to be that extra voice, another caring adult in their life who
Yeah.
can support their development, because being a kid is hard. I mean, it's not easy
Sure
being
is.
a kid.
Being
It's not easy being an adult.
Like, we all need all the help and community we can get.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point, Ed. I mean, we talk about how, managers who, I think it was just a few episodes ago, we talked about managers who yell and sort of that's how they lead through fear and yelling, like they're not helping anybody. And watching my son and daughter play youth sports, whether it's soccer or other sports, the managers and the parents who yell at their kids, or their teammates. I mean, it's so disappointing for exactly the reason that you just articulated, which is you expect better things from a coach. You want a coach to be someone who shapes your kid. You're trusting your kid for 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is, to their care and leadership. And if they're just going to yell and scream or you're going to stand on the side and yell and scream, it's pointless.
Yeah, Peter, it's a really good point. I used to be the president of a 3,000 player club here in Northern Virginia outside DC, and I've seen it all. I've seen, bad coach behavior, bad parent behavior. But what I've come to find out is really about training, about are we giving the coaches the training that they need to help them understand this important role that they have? Because if you didn't get that coming up, you only think about winning and you only think about the results and, may have a out of date mindset as it comes to coaching. And what we have found is when you provide the training, like the eyes of the coach lights up, because think about this, only one coach can win the league. Only one coach can win state cup. Only one coach can win the title. But all coaches can win it relates to the impact that they have on the young people in their charge, right? The young people who come to them, right? That's where the real power is. And we have an initiative called Yes Coach, in which it's sports.
Like
It started. Yep. It started with it started with soccer, but we realized that it had value to any sport. And basically, Yes Coach, it kind of is a simple training program for coaches to be able to understand, oh, this is how you create a space for young people. This is how you support them in their development and in their growth. Little simple things. And the funny part is that when we started this work, we thought it was all about what that meant for the kids. But what we found out is that it meant a lot for the coaches, because suddenly they had a sense of purpose beyond the scoreboard. Their purpose was in how they were working with young people and the contribution they were making to their community and to society just by being a coach and supporting young people in the proper way.
We talk so much about the loneliness crisis in America right now. I bet if you are one of those coaches, you are a lot less lonely than you might be otherwise.
Yes, and that reverses for young people. All the statistics tell us that young people are struggling today with isolation, loneliness, depression, suicidal ideation. I just was in a conversation with the head of child psychiatry at a children's hospital on the West Coast, and we were having this conversation. He said, no, kids should be on teams because it gives them a community to be a part of and gets them out of the house, out from behind screens, and getting them connected with their peers, kids that they might not otherwise interact with. They make friends, they have a circle that is their circle, they have a caring adult in the form of a coach who makes it a good space for them to be in. So yes, it has benefits all the way around.
Yeah, and that's one of the primary goals of the foundation, right? Which was created out of the last World Cup we had in the U.S. in 1994, was to provide not only safe spaces for kids to come play soccer, but also interact with each other, have programs. And it's evolved over the years to have leagues and train coaches, as you've mentioned. And the numbers back up the work, right, Ed? I mean, you've seen the numbers with how much healthier the kids are and the success they've.
When you're intentional about this work and you give the coaches the tools and the training that they need and the supportive curriculum, we've been able to show that 83% of kids have improved health outcomes, in terms of cardiovascular fitness, in terms of, the healthy weight and all those kinds of things that matter. We found that 81% of participants feel better about their future. When I first heard that, I thought, well, what does that mean? And we do some work with the Justice Department, and one of the things they pointed out to us is that that's a big number, because when you're in an under-resourced community, hopelessness is the enemy, right? Kids lose hope for any kind of better future for themselves. And so when you can create a space that makes kids feel better about their future and the potential for their lives, and that's where a coach comes in to support them in envisioning what they can be and what they can become, right? It's really a powerful thing.
So how can people get either their kid involved or involve themselves as a coach or a donor or a booster?
Yeah, so visit the ussoccerfoundation.org. That's ussoccerfoundation.org.
You still looking for coaches?
Yes, and yescoach.com is also access to training, free training. The training is free.
Cool.
It's not a PDF download. It's entertainment in many ways. It's storytelling with professional athletes, former coaches, others to actually tell stories in an engaging way to help viewers see and understand what this really means and what it means in young people's lives.
Yeah. And Ed, so we're all watching this World Cup for, not only the results and our favorite teams and also the crazy things the fans are doing, whether it's the Scottish fans and their drinking or the Norwegian fans and their rowing. What tell us, like, from your perspective, like, what does having this World Cup going as well as it's going with a great U.S. national team performance so far that hopefully continues and all the like joy and spirit that all these kids are seeing, like, what does it do for kids in the next decade? What does it do for the kids and for soccer in the U.S. in the next decade, let's say?
Yeah, all you have to do is look at what happened in 1994. Soccer was pretty much a backwater sport in the U.S. And then after the 1994 World Cup, youth participation went up like a hockey stick in terms of growth. Yes, in terms of participation.
Cool.
Because the exposure to the game, recognizing, there's excitement, there's fandom, anybody can play, any size of kid can play. It's really wonderful. And I expect the same from this World Cup. Is to see a significant amount of growth in interest and participation in the sport. Because how could you not be excited? How could you not be excited watching all the folks coming together and enjoying this global game? And kids want to be a part of things, right? And this is an exciting movement to see unfold in cities across the United States. And I'm really excited about the future. But for me, the role that I play and where I sit, we've been focused since well before the World Cup on ensuring that in addition to expanded participation, there's an expanded understanding of what the legacy of this World Cup can be, right? Which is giving access and opportunity to those kids who've pretty much been priced out of youth sport.
Those in the audience about that, so it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So those who are parents in the audience, they know if their kids are playing sport, that you're writing some pretty hefty checks to participate in youth sport. And not every family has those means to be able to do that. And this is an opportunity not only to get more kids playing, but get more coaches thinking about their role in young people's lives and creating those spaces for young people to thrive and grow and learn. I think that will be the greatest legacy of this World Cup. We started in 2017. We were serving 47,000 kids across the country through our free programming in school and after school. This year we hit 1.65 million kids across the country.
Wow.
And
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yes. And we've installed about close to 1,000 mini pitches across the country. Small soccer courts right in the neighborhood. So the kids don't need a mom with a minivan to get to it.
Pitch is a soccer field, everyone.
Yes, pitch is a small
very
soccer
good, Laura. Very good.
Yes.
I know things.
Yeah. So putting these small courts in neighborhoods increases access, right? I grew up playing basketball. Whenever I wanted to play basketball, there was a basketball court at the schoolyard or at the park, right? And we want the same thing to be available for young people, that there's a soccer court there that them and their friends, they don't need a coach, they don't need adults, they don't need anybody. They can just go and play.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your job becoming a little easier because, the scale of this event hopefully opens up those corporate wallets and minds to soccer and gets it really going in this country. I mean, I think in New York, where we have 8 games, it's literally being compared. The economic effect is compared to having 8 Super Bowls over a period of a month. I mean, that's just incredible.
Drink all of the beer in New York one day. That's something I read or heard.
Yeah. So shifting off soccer, but feel free to relate back if you'd like, because this is we talk about work. What's your top? I'll give you a question of what's your top leadership tip for managers, and a top tip for someone who's just starting out in the workforce.
Good question.
Yeah. So it sounds simple, but my simple thought is, hire smart people and then let them do what they do. Trust them to do what they do.
This is why I love this guy.
It's not an original thought. Steve Jobs kind of caught it really well when he said, we don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. We
A
hire
lot of
smart
people
people for
say it,
them
not a lot
to
of
tell
people
us.
know how to live it.
Right. And so to me, empowering people, I spent 7.5 years in the Navy, and even the military is changing how they think about the command and control model versus empowering at the unit level for folks to make decisions, to act on the information that's right in front of them without having to process it up and down the chain. That empowers people to do their best work and take ownership of that work. And that has been successful for us at the U.S. Soccer Foundation.
Love it.
And what about someone starting out at work? Some
Yeah.
22-year-old. How should they show up at work? What's your suggestion to them?
So there's a lot of stuff that young people hear. The one thing that I hear that in some ways annoys me is this meme about being fearless, right? Being fearless, right? In your pursuit. And I like to change that to be brave, right? To be brave.
Well said.
Fear is a natural instinct. I mean, I've experienced fear throughout my career. Am I going to be successful in this new job? Am I going to be able, when I raise my hand for this opportunity, will I actually be able to deliver? It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to trust that you'll be okay. That, just by making the effort. And I see too many young people who are afraid to put their hand up, right? Because there's a chance that it might not work out. And so I encourage folks to be brave and to not listen to that fear voice in your head, because it will be there.
Yeah.
It will come, right? But to not listen to it and to put your hand up and say, I'll do it anyway.
Love that.
Great advice. Okay, so final question for you, Ed. Putting you on the spot here. This is a trick question. No, it's not a trick question, but let's see what you have to say. A listener asked, what do you think is the best excuse you could give your boss to get out of the office to watch a World Cup game?
My advice would be, don't make an excuse. Encourage the boss to allow the World Cup to be watched in the office.
Oh, I like that.
That is, I bet if you go down to the financial district today, if you go on the trading floors, the World Cup will be on screens there. Folks will be watching the World Cup. This is a global moment. It comes to the U.S. the last time was over 32 years ago. It's not coming back again in a short time. So, I would encourage employers to have the flexibility, those who can, to allow that kind of background to be in the office so people don't have to make excuses or tell fibs about where they are or what they're doing.
Wow. Perfect.
Appreciate
Perfect. You handled that perfectly,
Thank you.
which is exactly what I expected. Yes. Thank you so much, Ed. Thank you for all the important work you do for kids and in this country. And thank you for joining us today. And we hope you enjoy the World Cup. I look forward to seeing you very soon. And I'm sure everyone enjoyed listening to you here. So thanks so much.
And I hope your audience will visit us at ussoccerfoundation.org and get engaged with our work.
Yes, we will. We will include links on our show pages everywhere. So absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you. The nicest man ever, Peter. Why is he friends with you?
He's amazing. He inspires me every time I spend time with him. So, and he's also from Brooklyn, and he also loves pizza. So it's very easy for us to hang out.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, let's get into our other topics that may not be quite as inspiring necessarily as Ed was, but I am very amused by the highs and lows of JPMorgan news this week. The company released the information that 2 new co-CEOs are being named, and they are both seen as potential successors to Jamie Dimon. Also, can you tell the other thing that happened at JPMorgan this week? I feel like you've been tracking it better than I have.
Well, it was something we knew was going to happen. And of course, it had to happen at JPMorgan because they've been in the spotlight so frequently lately. And we've talked about them on the podcast a lot. But prior to the Knicks championship parade last week, the Department of Sanitation created these limited edition garbage cans that are blue and orange, and they said they were going to place them along the parade route. Well, of course, as cynical as New Yorkers are, the immediate reaction was, well, that was nice, but someone's definitely going to steal these and try and resell them. Yesterday, we learned that there was a video of someone literally dumping out trash on the street from one of these garbage cans and walking away with the can, which technically is a crime.
Like in broad daylight, or did they do it at night at least?
No, broad daylight. During the parade, they did it.
Oh
just
God.
like everyone thought
And who
people
was
would
this
do.
person?
And the person happened to be a DEI group employee at JPMorgan. And she lost her job because
Wait,
of
the woman that
this.
stole the garbage can?
Yes.
I have to say, I try not to be gendered about things, but I didn't expect that to be a woman.
Well, there's a whole video, and she got pretty busted, and it's really unfortunate. I mean, for her. But we've talked many times about this on the podcast.
Don't steal shit?
Well, A, don't steal shit. That's a basic one. But B, things that are not necessarily work related that get out into the public dialogue or the public
There are cameras
world
everywhere.
can have an impact on your job. And when you're at something as visible as the Knicks parade, where literally every person had their camera out filming what was happening, dumping out a trash can full of trash onto the street and walking away with it is a pretty stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
And, an employer doesn't want to be associated with that. And I think,
Garbage stealer. Don't
yeah,
be a garbage stealer.
and more than anything, they're probably like, how can we trust your judgment if this
Right.
is what you're going to do?
What a bad call. Yeah.
Right. By the way, you could buy the trash can for $168 if you were so inclined.
Oh, see, that's important information. Okay.
And so,
And one would think that someone working at JPMorgan would ostensibly have the funds to buy $168.
yeah, I would think so. So, Angie Baez is the person who's been identified here. Congrats on your Knicks gear is very inspiring. Glad to have you as a fan, but that was a very poor choice you made, and also a disgusting one. I mean, who wants a trash can that was filled with other people's garbage?
Seriously. I hope it's not your
It's
home.
gross.
But anyway, the bigger business story, bigger even than Trashgate, is
Yes.
I think it's interesting that Jamie Dimon made this move towards towards naming successors.
Yeah.
And I feel like the responsibility of a leader to have a succession plan gets talked about more than it used to. Is this something you talk about with clients who own their own business, or,
It's a sensitive topic. I mean, it's a sensitive topic for sure. And JP Morgan, named two co-presidents today, Doug Petno and Troy Rarbaugh. And,
it's almost right there.
almost. I guess now they're just, going to fight it out to see who gets the job whenever Jamie Dimon's ready to go, if ever. And
Poly market yet? Which one of them is winning?
I don't know. I didn't check before the podcast. We should check it out. But look, the best leaders talk about this and plan for it. They plan for succession. The worst ones, when they're asked, have no answer of who their successor could be if they're hit by a bus tomorrow or in a month or whatever.
Would you
But it's
say marred Bob Iger's macro legacy, what a mess the succession process was
Oof.
at Disney?
I would say it definitely tarnished it a little bit, and especially if you read the Financial Times interview that came out last week about it, which
No, what was it?
really made him seem like really quite petty and controlling, and like he deliberately undermined his successor. I mean, he wouldn't give
Really?
up his office. He wouldn't, there's just a whole, the big CEOs, they seem so polished and, just so comfortable and confident, but a lot of them have some like really weird insecurities. And I would say if you're no longer the CEO and you refuse to give up your office, that should be a sign to the new CEO and everyone else that
Don't go there.
something's not quite right.
Okay, it's not on Poly market yet. I checked.
Okay. So yeah, is this is a big announcement that like, yeah, down the line, this is something I'm planning for. I feel confident and comfortable enough in my own standing in this company, which Jamie Dimon does, of course. No one would remove him. And he's revealing his thoughtfulness about it. And I think every leader should be thinking about that and constantly be thinking about, who is my list of potential replacements? If I open up my drawer and pull out my list, who's on it? That's an important trait of a good leader.
Point. And whether you own your own business or not, like if you are working for a company you care about and leading a team, you might also think like, if I have to be out for a week, a bit, who could pitch in? You don't seem convinced on that.
No, I'm totally convinced. I mean, when people talk about like never wanting to,
there would be talk about like succession planning, like Anna Wintour. I think actually, talk about someone that didn't move out of their office.
Right.
But she chose Chloe Mel. I think is brilliant and amazing. So I hope she lets her cook.
Yeah, I'm all for leaders, cycling out. Like, CEOs, 30, 40-year CEOs, like that's not my jam. I don't approve of that.
20 is good, honestly.
I think even less.
I've worked with some 20-year CEOs that, you start to see where fresh blood could help sometimes.
Yeah, I think even less. I mean, it's especially at the rate that technology is changing, business is evolving, geopolitics is changing. Like you just need to have a different set of eyes. And if you're doing your job as a company, you're going to have people ready to do that.
Yeah. Good point. Okay. Right. I think this is very cool. Gina Raimondo, who was the Commerce Secretary under Biden, she is now leading an effort to help upskill people so
workers.
They better compete in the AI world of the future. And she has gotten Anthropic involved, which is interesting. Good for them, right?
Yeah, Anthropic and OpenAI.
Okay, sorry, OpenAI.
She got them to donate $500 million to this
that's
foundation.
not nothing.
No, of course not. It's a lot of money. But you know what? This is what our government should be doing. That's my initial reaction. And so, yes.
OpenAI, Anthropic, Amazon, and Microsoft have all signed on to the effort. It is smart of these companies.
I think it's fantastic, and I think they should be doing this. We've talked a lot. We've debated a lot. Are jobs going away, or are they just changing? I'm firmly in the camp that jobs are changing, and we'll also talk about how jobs are changing and how people are adapting or not adapting to that. But I am adamant that our government should be leading this effort, because it is an issue of national importance. It's not just issue
but
for
they
corporates.
Don't be able to pink the bottom of a pool successfully at the moment. So
well, it was a knife. Someone came with a X-Acto knife.
Let Gina Raimondo, who knows what the hell she's doing, gather smart people and get this done.
Yeah, well, you look at our current Secretary of Commerce, who's more interested in sitting front row at basketball games.
Is that Bessent?
And,
is that our Secretary of Commerce, or is that Treasury? Who's
Lutnick.
He seems nice.
Yeah. I mean, come on. This is what the government should be doing right now, and instead, they're trying to figure out how to make money off of AI, where they could take investment stakes, where they could get their own pockets lined. I mean, the real issue is, what are we doing for workers? These companies are going to grow no matter what we do. They're going to grow, and the technology is going to evolve no matter what. I think we're seeing that, and the question is, how quickly do we adapt as companies and workers? And we've implored workers.
If you have a big company getting involved with an effort like this is smart, because you can train people to do the work you will need people to do.
Yes, and I think it's
Raise
also,
Us. I was looking for the name of it. Sorry, it's called Raise Us, if people want to look it up.
Yeah, and I think it's also a great way to talk about AI with your employees. We've talked about how do you talk about AI? And a lot of companies over the past few months have been talking about it in ways that just literally scare employees and inject them with fear. Here, this is very constructive. We're participating in this effort. We're going to figure out what the new jobs are going to be. We're going to make you ready for them. We're invested in your careers. You should be too. I mean, these are the messages we should be sending, not you're going to be replaced by AI, so you better get your act together or you're out.
Speaking of sending bad messages, let's talk about what's happening at Meta.
Yeah,
so everybody probably remembers there was an announcement a few months ago where Meta employees were told that their keystrokes would be recorded for AI learning. They also, that was when they laid off a whole bunch of people, and they told thousands of people who were left, you are now being switched over to AI. And if you don't like it, this might not be the company for you. There is, according to one of the leaders in a talk this week or a memo, the morale is the worst it's ever been at Meta. There is so much anger and backlash towards AI that they have paused moving everybody over, and the program with the mapping the keystrokes has also been paused. They said that was paused because of a data breach, but
Oops.
whatever the reason, I doubt it's going to come back. That I think Mark Zuckerberg and others were surprised at how strong the reaction was.
Well, we've talked about the changes at Meta the past couple weeks on this show, and all indications were, and it's nothing new for the company, but all indications were they were just going about these initiatives with zero concern about how their employees would react or feel about it. And I think what they're realizing now is they're not a leader in any of these in the AI race at all. They made a couple steps that didn't work. And now they find themselves behind everybody, and B, their employees are unhappy, and C, they can't attract people there because everyone's seems pretty shitty to work there,
I mean,
frankly.
honestly,
So
when I read that thing about the keystrokes, I was like,
yeah.
wow, that would be very upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, there was a great passage in the article which was called Meta Culpa. It was in Business Insider that was like, we're going to fire your employees, we're going to give you more work, and oh, by the way, we're going to record every single thing you do. And it's like, how are you supposed to work under those conditions?
Why don't you want that? Why doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sign me up. I'll be right there. That sounds amazing. And I don't know. Do you want to say this is because it's a massive company led by one person, who has unchecked power? Is it a style that's worked for them in the past that no longer works for them? I've said it. I don't think employees want to put up with this stuff anymore, and they're gonna just vote with their feet and move on if they don't like it, no matter what the job market is like. And in tech right now, the job market's pretty good.
Article said that there are actually less layoffs right now.
Yeah, the job market's good. I mean, what they've done is not get rid of jobs. They've gotten rid of some overhiring that happened during COVID, and then they've repositioned jobs to, areas of growth and development like AI. But it doesn't mean they've replaced people with AI. Maybe they've done some of that, but not on a large scale. These companies are still hiring. People are still working there. They're getting re-employed. I've represented people at Meta and other major tech companies. They get new jobs pretty quickly. It's not a problem.
Interesting.
So
interesting.
Let's see what change. I mean,
I think that's really hopeful, actually.
Yeah, let's see if it's real. I mean, with them, it's like whatever the flavor of the week is.
You sent me another depressing article about the infinite work week, which I thought was going to be another thing about we're so connected, but it's actually, and I have definitely experienced this, when you have AI bots working for you, you feel like you could always be doing more because you always have a workforce that can move things forward, but also mess things up. So you need to keep your eye on it. Really interesting how people are, yes, getting somewhat more done, but they are burning out so much faster using AI.
Yeah, I mean the one thing is AI really doesn't have boundaries, right? Doesn't have time limits or usage limits, or in this case, question limits. I've heard these similar stories from clients. This is why the article kind of resonated for me. I mean, I had someone tell me about a manager who literally created an agent to manage their team. And literally anything you'd send to this manager, you'd get 25 questions back from the agent, because guess what? The agent hasn't been through management training, doesn't really know how to interact with humans.
Isn't a human.
Isn't a human. I mean, to me, it just sounds horrific. That person should be fired as a manager for doing that. But yeah, that's what happens. You set up agents to do all these things, and you get overwhelmed by all the things. It's working faster than you. It's doing more things with you. You have to double check everything, which is super important, obviously. So we've talked about and we just talked about it here, but we've talked about it before. Companies need to do training on what AI tools make sense, what applications of AI make sense, how to use them, because employee burnout's a real thing. The cost of running these agents is a real thing that's been discussed a lot. So there's a lot of implications. It's not just so easy of put in the prompt and see what happens.
Yeah, you think that the first time. Not the second time you use it. And then you find out differently.
But are you tired? Has AI tired you out? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not tired at the moment, but there have definitely been a couple times where I was like, did this take longer than it would have if I hadn't used AI?
Interesting.
Because there's so many corrections that you need to make.
Right.
But
well, in New York, the courts just passed a rule saying you can use AI to write briefs and court filings, but you have to certify that you double-checked everything that was in there, because people are submitting briefs that have fake cases. And I can tell you, potential clients send me these crazy AI summaries, and sometimes I look at the cases in them, they're not real cases, or they don't say what AI says they say. Or people send me contracts that they've run through AI and cite clauses that are not in the contract. And it's like, what's going on here? So it's not to say
it can be used effectively though to organize documents, especially
of course
information.
Of course, but what I'm saying is I'm shocked that intelligent people won't even spend.
If you want to advertise on our podcast, still call.
Yeah, I'm shocked that people won't spend 5 minutes to double check what they're sending me.
I know some editorial leaders who have also made the rule have said, I encourage you to use AI to organize your information, to transcribe your interviews, all of the things that would make things faster, but you are responsible for every single word, and know that.
Yep, it's a good rule. I approve.
Yeah. You want people to have the benefits, and, I will say, I remember what it was like to have to transcribe interviews for hours, but you have to say to the AI you want it verbatim, or it'll make shit up, which has happened. Okay,
Wild.
Peter's shaking his head. He's like, who?
Wild.
Okay, I think it's time for Heroes and Zeros, my favorite part.
Heroes and zeros. So who's your zero?
Zero is the Supreme Court and all of its rulings today. In case anybody has missed it, the Supreme Court had 3 rulings today. One said that we don't have to hear someone's plea for asylum at the border. 2, temporary protective status for Haitians and Syrians is canceled. To be clear, it is not safer in Syria or Haiti now. We just seem to care less. And you can bring a gun. If you have a license to conceal and carry, you can bring the gun onto private property without telling people. And Roundup
I didn't see that one.
does not cause cancer.
Right. That was a good one.
How you like that, Maha, now, people? What is RFK doing? I thought his whole thing was big pharma and big food and getting.
Well, he's not on the Supreme Court, and hopefully he'll never be on it.
I know, but obviously the Trump administration took the side of Bayer Monsanto defending the use of Roundup. So the administration took this case on under the auspices of RFK. So let's not let him off the hook here. This is exactly the opposite of what he told people he was going to do for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in that movement who are disappointed with positions he's taken on different things, in particular related to fertilizers.
All right, what do you got, Peter?
Okay, I mean, that's a pretty robust zero.
Just some legal profession, Peter. What?
Yeah. Sound like a lawyer. My zero, it's another celebrity wedding related zero, and this is the second time I've done this, but look, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, if you want to get married in Madison Square Garden over July 4th, fine. But today we learned that they've submitted permits to close all the streets around Penn Station during a major holiday weekend.
That's insane.
Not cool. Not cool.
We're not going to allow that, are we?
I hope not. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. So I think that's, behavior that's unbecoming to them. And I hope they change their minds. It's very Bezos-esque closing down Venice during peak tourist season, last year.
But, yeah.
I didn't like that either. That was a 0. I don't like this. So I was very appreciative of Taylor Swift and the Haim sisters cheering, Game 4 MSG. That was great, but this is not great. So let's do the right thing here. Find another way to get your guest.
Yes. Heroes. I am going to just say the start of summer. And it just feels like good vibey right now. It's
great vibey.
The weather in the city is gorgeous. People are chipper. What happened.
Other than elections, people are really psyched.
Yeah, what happened with Congressman Goldman being the way he was treated by the coffee shop, who did not want to let him.
They were almost my 0.
Yeah.
That was very heavy.
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from the politics of the week, but I'll pull that part out and say I was really relieved how many people realized that it was a bad thing for coffee shops to not let people in because of their religion. And I was really appreciated that Laura Coates made it a thing on her show almost immediately on CNN. So that gave me a little hope.
Yeah, that was not cool at all. It was disgusting, actually. All right, my hero is the U.S. soccer team. Now, you'll notice I'm taking a different position here than I did with the Knicks. I refuse to acknowledge the Knicks as a hero until they won.
Okay.
But the U.S. soccer team is...
They showed up. They're a hero.
Yeah, when they won, they were the hero. I didn't want to jinx it. But here, we need a national, people need to be aware of what's going on. I think they are. The team's playing really well. They're advancing to the knockout round. There's a game tonight. And they're going to feed off the energy if it's there. So, there's obviously a lot of World Cup energy. We've talked about it.
Did you play soccer in high school?
I did early in high school. Then I stopped, and then I played intramural soccer. I was,
Did you
a
play other
terror on the
sports in high
field.
school?
Yes, tennis, volleyball. Yeah,
I was on the
soccer
sports team and the lacrosse team, as previously mentioned.
And then you were like, forget it. I don't want anything to do with sports.
Well, no, as I scored one lacrosse goal the entire time, and it was in the local paper. I always like to bring up because it was such news that I had scored a goal. That
was it an important goal? Did your team go to the championship or something?
It was like a 13-1 game, but it was my first goal. So it was Brownstein scored a goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
In the Rockland Journal-News.
All right. Great. All right. Well, go U.S.
Go U.S.
Go U.S.
And go people who know what's wrong with the country, but still believe in it and want to fight for it.
I will say, we went out last week in Brooklyn to watch a U.S. game at a beer hall, and it was just cool to just have everyone together, being patriotic, supporting the team, and just being unified about it. That was great.
Nice.
So, great feeling. So, on that note, thank you, everyone,
all right,
for your support of the Across the Bar podcast, for listening, watching. Thank you, Sadie.
Raybar. And thank you to our guest today.
Thank you, Ed, for joining us. It was great. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care.